Steeda put a Procharger on this Mach 1, and then they put it on the dyno. And it makes good numbers. The question is, do you want to do this or do you want to do a Whipple? And for me, I really don't know. I've got the 10-speed automatic, and he does make a good point that the centrifugal supercharger is like a belt-driven turbo. And with the 10-speed automatic, when it shifts, it keeps the RPMs way up there with all 10 gears. It's the close ratios are right up at the very top, right? There's not going to be a lot of times if you have it in drive where you stomp the gas and you're going to be at 3,000 RPMs where it doesn't downshift, right? Now, if you're in let's say, a manual transmission vehicle and you're in third gear at 3,000 RPMs and you step on it, well, let's look at it. We'll see how much torque you'll actually make at 3,000. You'll only be making about 340 foot-pounds of torque. Now, that's not a lot. There's Camaros that make NA more power, stock. Like a stock LT1 makes more torque at 3,000 RPMs. I'm pretty sure. That would be like a good question to ask. Stock LT1. Let's do like not even that. Let's do a 2000. Let's just do a 2020 Camaro. 2020. Yeah, it's called a Camaro dyno. It's a LT1, right? Yeah. Is it LT1? Yeah. Base dyno. Now I know it's not the Steeda, but yeah, if you look at 3,000, it's making 400 torque. So it's just not a lot of torque. For Coyote, it's okay. It's okay. Now, when they compare it to the Whipple down here, you can actually see where the Whipple at 3,000 makes 440 or something at 3,000. Now, who cares about that, right? Well, I do, because if I'm on the street, I want to blow the tires off. Exactly what he says a lot of people don't want to do. I actually do want an enormous amount of horsepower. That's what I want. Down low, especially, and torque. I want so much power, it blows the tires off constantly, like a top fuel dragster going down the street. That's what I want. And the Procharger doesn't have it. Would the Procharger be cute? Yes, it would be cute to drive around with the Procharger and make those noises. And it would actually be really fast, especially in a street race. But it's not going to give you that instantaneous torque like the pushrod motors do, like the Whipple would make. It would make more. It almost makes 50 more at 3,000. Even at 2,500, 50 more. At 2,000, the biggest gap is something like up here at 5,000 where peak torque is. Peak torque with the Whipple is 535. On the Procharger, it's 461. So 61 to 35, it's quite a significant. It's 70 or 80 torque. And the average horsepower, you can look through the meat of the power band. The Whipple just makes more torque and more power everywhere. There's not a place where it doesn't make more power or torque. Now, so then why would you buy a Procharger? Well, it sounds good. That's obvious. That's honestly one of the reasons you can't hear a Whipple when you're just sitting there at a red light. You can hear a Procharger. And that's cool. I want to hear the Procharger. I like the way that it sounds. I like the way that the Procharger, because I grew up around Fox bodies, and Fox bodies had, Paxton superchargers, and a B cam, and you could hear the Procharger, you could hear the Vortec, supercharger. I believe there was what were they, like S trims? I believe that's a Vortec. Yeah, that was like the thing. I wanted an S trim on a Fox body with like a cam so bad. So there's still that nostalgia around this centrifugal supercharger. But It makes way less torque, way less horsepower all the way around. Okay, what are the pros? The pros are that you can take this Procharger around a racetrack probably all day long and it would not overheat. So if you want to do any actual racing, not just rip in the street. Now the Whipple would be great for drag racing. I don't think the Whipple is the best for, I don't know, but I would assume, since this thing sits on top of the engine block, and he even says it in the video, most people know that even the Corvette Z06 had heat soak with that supercharger sitting on top, right? So that is a thing. They've had to do a lot of work for the GT500, a lot of engineering to make that work. So you can do it. You can build a track car like that. You just need to you need to make sure you have all the cooling set up properly. The Procharger, he says the air intake temperatures were only like 5 or 10 degrees lower. He said the ambient was like in the 80s, and then the air intake temperature was in the 80s. So the Procharger is actually great for keeping your air intake temperatures low. You can bolt this thing on in a day and you don't have to cut anything, and it just bolts on and it sits on the side of the motor. And then when you're done, you can take it off. You don't have to put on this big, the Whipple is like this big thing that sets on top of the motor, right? Procharger is this thing that sets off to the side with the belt. So that's another thing. Air intake temperatures are better. Ease of installation. It's less invasive. And you can just take it to the racetrack and keep ripping it. Air intake temperatures are better. So which one would I prefer? It just depends on what kind of driving I'm doing. That's like when people ask me which kind of car I should get. Well, I don't know what kind of driving you like. If I could have a Procharger that made the power of the Whipple, I would do that. But I really do still like the idea of just bolting on a Procharger. Even though it makes less power, it sounds cooler. Definitely sounds cooler if you get the non-helical gears. They have a quiet option for the gear, and they have a regular option. If you have a regular option and then the cam chop, the custom tune for the cam, that would be fun to hear your modern Mustang with a Procharger chopping. That would be fun. So there's the results. Do you buy a car just for dyno results? No, obviously, or I wouldn't have bought a Mustang Mach 1, right? It's 480 horsepower, right? And it was expensive for 480 horsepower. It goes around a track. It looks good. It sounds good. It drives good. A lot of it is the driving experience is what I'm getting at. You have to go drive something to see if you like it. You can read about it on the internet, and then you can go drive it, and it's two different things. I was that way actually with the Mustang, the 2015. I read about it. And I actually previously had a Fiesta ST with Recaro seats. Turbocharged 1.6 with a manual transmission, Recaros, and the car's about this big and weighs 2,600 pounds or something. And you can flick it around the canyons. It will drift. Hit it in second gear. It will spin the front tires. Turbo kicks in. It was the most fun car to ever drive. I bought the 15 Mustang without doing a lot of test driving. I was just in love with the way it looked and the fact that I'm going to do all these modifications to the exhaust and and it wasn't that fun to drive, to be honest, in the city, in a busy city like Los Angeles. So the point is, get your butt behind the seat and drive it. See if you actually like the vehicle. If you don't like the vehicle driving it, then don't buy it. If you don't like the way it looks and you don't like the way it drives, you have to like both of those things. Those are so important. So don't get sold on dyno numbers. You don't know until you drive it. I'm assuming if you bought a Procharger, if you weren't expecting much, but then you go drive it, it's making 620 at the wheel. It's actually making more than the Whipple, might I add. Just right there, though. Right at the top. Bing! All the other places, it's under the curve. It's completely under. So your whole day is going to be spent under the curve. You're never going to be up there. You might get to 555 just tooling around in traffic, and you're going to feel all that extra torque. But when you come to red light, it's not going to go zzz, which I think is the coolest part of it all. So Procharger or Whipple, it's up to you. I would go drive both of them first. But there's the dyno numbers on the Bullet and the Procharger, which are basically the same motors. And there's the results. Procharger versus Whipple. Procharger, lower air intake temperatures, sounds better. Ease of installation, less invasive, but makes less power on average. Procharger would be great for the Mach 1 and the Bullet guys because you get to keep the throttle body and the intake manifold, and it kind of goes along with the track focused, the road racing focused suspension and the intake manifold and everything that's based around the GT350 and the GT500, which is made for kind of endurance. It's not a drag car is what I'm saying. It's not a Hellcat. The Whipple would be like for if you're doing a lot of drag racing. So there you go. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button for more Mustang and automotive news, and I'll catch you in the next video.